Infrastructure Committee, Chairman DeFazio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm disappointed. I know it's the trolls at OMB that Coast Guard has only requested a 0.3% increase in their overall budget. I often say to agency heads, we'd like to hear honestly what you need, and I have brought this up with a former commandant in terms of the unmet needs list every year. That's a very, very disappointing level that you've requested. And, the Polish security cutters, offshore patrol cutters, Congress is moving along with those. But the personnel are the key to the whole thing. We're getting a small pay increase, good. But a $2 billion and growing backlog, which the ranking member talked about, I couldn't agree with him more, on the shoreside infrastructure. That's the housing. Commandant was in Coos Bay last year and saw, they were doing some housing renovations, the coasties themselves, but the pretty substandard housing, and obviously childcare facilities. And you're going to have trouble recruiting and retaining a workforce, a great workforce, a diverse workforce that's qualified. If you aren't providing for those sorts of basic needs, particularly for the enlisted, it's giving the phenomenal run-ups in rents all around the United States. On their salaries, I don't know how they're going to find, decent civilian housing. So I have real concerns, and I would like to hear a bit about rationale for allowing that to continue and not putting forward a request. Again, I assume you've probably been constrained by OMB, but if you don't tell us about it, we can't advocate with the Appropriations Committee and look at the authorization and deal with those things. The Maritime, I'm pretty disappointed in the request from the President that, we don't have, money for the Port Infrastructure Development Program proposed in this year's budget. No funding for the Maritime Transportation Emergency Relief Authority. The maritime transportation system didn't get any relief during COVID, despite a number of us advocating for it in a couple of the packages. The industry is supposed to continue full and increased operations throughout the pandemic, but got no help. I'm hoping both to hear from, Chairman Maffei and Administrator Leslie to talk about their vision for the future. There is a minuscule increase for the Federal Maritime Commission, but you need additional resources, and we have been pushing you to look at oversight and enforcement having to do with the big shipping conglomerates and their practices and essentially their pricing schemes. And we've got to continue to push hard on those things. And if you don't have the investigative staff and you don't have the resources you need, it's going to be very difficult. So I hope you all will be just really honest with us today, because if we hear about it, we can try and deal with it. We just shouldn't deal with these. I was talking to someone at Homeland. My state has a huge problem with oath keepers and 3%ers and all that, particularly in my district. And we asked for a Homeland Security terrorism coordinator, and OMB said, oh, no, we can't have those, too expensive. 12 states wanted them. This is ridiculous. We need to meet the needs of the nation, and the jerks at OMB shouldn't be calling the shots.